Radio. I'm your host, Jonathan Watts, and in the studio with me always is my lovely girlfriend, Amanda Young, who will be engineering our show for this evening. This show, as well as all of the other shows, will continue to be available on our website After Twilight Radio for free, 24/7. As long as you can download MP3 and play it on your computer, then we are going to continue to bring fantastic interviews your way as the listener. Make sure and pay attention to the website in the future. We're going to add a brand new media player that's going to add a whole lot of features to our website, as well as a number of other neat little toys on the website that's going to give you a lot more news and information from out there in the paranormal community. But having said all that, you'll have to pay attention to that yourself and keep up with it. It's very exciting, and we are glad to bring it to you. And this evening, our guest is Dwayne Claud. Dwayne is a demonologist, a paranormal investigator, author, lecturer, and if he has time for anything else, we'll have to ask him what else in his world we do. But without further ado, let's go ahead and bring Dwayne on the line. Dwayne, are you with us?
I'm here. Thanks for having me tonight.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. It's interesting that I thought I knew everyone in the community of demonologists, but apparently I didn't. I was checking through my email a couple weeks ago, and Dwayne sent me an email and said, "Gosh, it might be a good idea to bring me on the show." And I jumped at the opportunity, took a look at his biography and all of the books that you've written, and it looks like you've been quite a busy man over the past couple of years.
I definitely have. And, most of my work is with the work of most people who do demonology tends to be out of the limelight. Because you're starting to deal with families and you're starting to deal with some really sensitive issues. And, really haven't been on the lecture circuit that much. And that's probably one of the reasons you haven't heard too much about me, is just the fact that I have done a lot more work just in the trenches as opposed to being out in the public eye.
Well, and that's why it's a tremendous opportunity to have you on the show. Is that you do bring the real world experience. You are out there in the field as a demonologist, working cases, and I've always thought that it says a lot about a person that perhaps you're not as interested in making yourself a public figure as you are the casework itself. That's kind of how you would describe yourself, right?
That's exactly how I describe myself. What the whole thing about demonology is it's really about the people that you're working with. The people who are doing this are not necessarily the people who chose to do this path, this type of work themselves. It's definitely a calling that happens to them for one reason or another. I had my own personal experiences that got me involved with this, and ever since I got through my own personal situation, and don't get me wrong, it's not completely over. Things do pop up from time to time from the past. People seem to find me, and people who are in the same thralls of, demonic oppression or infestation, and I have dealt on a very extremely rare occasion with some possession cases. They seem to find the people that can help them, and whether it's me or any of the other numerous demonologists across the country, God has a way of directing them to the people that they need to go to. And like I said, this isn't really a path I picked for myself. It was really kind of one that was chosen for me. And I can't tell you the number of times that I've tried to put down the proverbial sword to walk away from it, because it influences every part of your life sometimes. And the moment I do, somebody else calls me and says, "I need help."
Yeah, and let's talk about that a little bit. How did you get involved yourself with demonology, and what sort of I love to ask the generic question. What brought you into the field of paranormal? Bring me into the more specifics. How did you get your start?
Well, I'll be honest. I always had an interest in ghosts, paranormal investigations. Even when I was a young child, there was always a question: is there life beyond death? Do things really go bump in the night? It wasn't actually